0. The board unanimously voted to expel the student for the balance of the first semester and all of the second semester with enrollment to Oak Tree. And please let the record reflect that Mr. Paul Scott joined us before we began the expulsion hearing. Item number 9, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Does any member wish to take one of these items off the consent agenda and handle separately?
I had a quick clarifying question, but I'm okay voting on it. So,
You want to do the question later?
however you want to handle it.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Mrs. Gookins, please help me to remember to get your question answered. Okay. Item number 10, consideration and approval of the 2018-19 audit report.
We have Mr. Derek DeBrine on the line, who is here from Clifton Larson Allen, who did the audit report, here to present to you.
Mrs. Gookins, I'm going to turn it over to you as you sit on the audit committee.
Thank you. Is he here? He should be on the phone. I'm not sure if he's just muted or he's been waiting. So I would just.
There
Oh, but. So the audit committee did come together and review the audit. We did have staff available on the phone. It was a refreshingly boring audit, which are the best kind of audits, noting that there were no findings. And with that, I will go ahead and turn that over to our auditors in case they have any prepared statements for this evening.
Thank you. As was mentioned, a very boring audit, which is exactly how we like them. So no findings, no issues, very clean. There was an issue in a prior year related to one of the federal programs, and that's been resolved. And so that's good to report out that in the current year audit that was not an issue any longer. And so it's a clean report, and we found working with both charter impact and the management team to be effective and good. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Does the board have any questions regarding the audit? I see no questions this evening. There wasn't anything you wanted to point out to us in particular?
Was that directed at me?
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, I mean it's a pretty extensive and long report, as you can see. There's a lot of information. Just to note that as a public charter school with over $750,000 of federal funding, you're really under 4 layers of audit standards that we look at. So it is an extensive process, but it is also a risk-based process. So we certainly can't look at everything. That would be cost prohibitive and wouldn't be an effective process. But certainly, it is a high level assurance. So again, nothing in particular to point out.
And I would like to note that during the audit committee meeting, we went through this for about an hour, and there were I asked very substantial questions during that time, which I won't. Those who were interested, I'm sure, were in attendance that evening.
Do any of the other board members have a question? All right, do I have a motion to approve the audit report?
I'll move.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The audit is accepted. And then, Jillian, this will go to the district.
Yes, by Friday, the 20th is their due date, so most likely tomorrow or Wednesday.
Thank you. Item number 11.
Thank you, Derek.
Thanks. Thank you, Derek.
And Derek, did that go to the state clearinghouse yet, or is that pending?
So actually, we still are in need of the final representation letter from management, and at that point, we can release it, and it's due to the state. Yeah, we do need to release it ASAP, so as soon as we can get that letter, we can do that.
From who?
From us. We need to write that.
Tomorrow would be a great day.
All right, thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Item number 11, consideration of approval of contract MOU for student services consultant and principal substitute as needed.
So moved.
Seconded.
This is a carryover item from our last meeting. And according to the Brown Act, because we didn't start our meeting at the time that was posted, we need to redo these items. So
I just asked a question, because that's been a long time ago. What was the time frame on this contract?
this is just for the balance of services through December.
Through December.
Through December. So I have a first and a second. Are there any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The MOU passes. Consideration of approval of board policy, visitor policy. Could I have a motion, please?
Move to approve policy 014. Second.
Okay. And do I understand that the corrections that the board asked for? Okay. Is there any further conversation?
I appreciate those adjustments and that clarity.
Absolutely. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The board policy is approved. Consideration of approval of memorandum of understanding with Palmdale School District for Clear Administrative Credential Program. Again, this is an item we brought to you last time. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Are there any, this is just reflective of one employee, our vice principal at the elementary school. Are there any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The item passes. Consideration of approval of contract with EdLogical.
Move to approve.
Seconded.
And again, this is redo from our board meeting, except this time you will note that their actual schedule of rates was attached. We didn't have that to give to you before. We anticipate that there may be a need as we move forward before positions are filled for some of these positions. And we don't have a clear need at the moment, but this contract would give us the ability to do that on very short order. Are there any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The item passes. Consideration to approve addition of Chief Acting Executive Officer as the main signer for the Palmdale Aerospace Academy. And Mr. Dilger is not here with us this evening. He is ill, but the item remains the same as it was. Do I have a motion to approve?
Seconded.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And the item passes. Okay, if you will bear with me for one moment. Item number 16, consideration of approval of contract for the Co-Chief Executive Officer, Melinda Jaggi. We're going to take this in two pieces. I need a motion to approve the salary schedule.
So moved.
I'll second that.
And then I am required to read this. As to the next item regarding approval of the salary schedule and Co-Chief Executive Officer Agreement, I am required by law to indicate prior to any vote on the Chief Executive Officer employment contract, the contract is at will and provides the following: a base annual salary from through June 2020 of $46,450. We made it. Does not include sick leave, and there is no participation in the health and benefits programs as provided by the school. And the salary schedule is wholly in keeping with the compensation comparability study that the board received on a couple of prior occasions. If now I could have a,
Do you have to vote?
but I think we should vote on this.
Okay.
I have a motion for this, so do we have?
Okay, second.
Yes, I have a second. All those in favor of approving the compensation study?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The compensation study is approved. The next item of business is the contract for Mrs. Jaggi. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
This contract corrected a couple of typos. Mrs. Jaggi will work for us on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday through June, or until we hire, as we anticipate to do before June, a chief executive officer. Do I have any questions? Comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations.
Or commiseration.
But welcome either way.
A big welcome. Item 17, consideration of approval of contract for Co-Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Michael Perkins. I would like to do this piece in two pieces also, please. So
Move to approve the compensation study portion.
thank you, Dr. Porter.
Second.
Okay. I will read again the same statement I read to you before. As to the next item regarding approval of the Co-Chief Executive Officer Agreement, I am required by law to indicate prior to any vote on the employment contract that the contract is at will and provides the following: an annual base salary of approximately, and I'm saying approximately because we have Mr. Perkins slated to work Tuesdays and Thursdays, of about $38,000. That number could fluctuate if we have a need to have him on campus another a day or two as we move forward. Okay. Mr. Perkins will be granted no sick leave and will not participate in the employee health and benefits programs. I would also note that the annual salary is wholly in keeping with the compensation comparability study the board has received. Are there any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The item passes. And now I need a motion for the approval of Mr. Perkins' contract.
So move.
Second. Are there any comments or questions? And again, the typos in that contract have been corrected. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And abstentions. The item passes. Congratulations, Mr. Perkins, and welcome aboard. Thank you. Again. All right. Item number 18, consideration of approval for renewal of memorandum of understanding with Masada Homes. Do I have a motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. Mrs. Jaggi, did you want to talk about this one? We have already actually approved this contract before, but it contained an evergreen clause. And so the terms and conditions of the contract remain the same, but it expires every year in June.
That's the evergreen clause?
Yeah, we got rid of the evergreen clause. But we will continue to use them as we need them.
This organization provides a variety of mental health services for our children that they desperately need. So I've worked with them before, so it's a good thing to provide this for our kids. I'm glad it's being renewed, or up for renewal.
Yes. Are there any other questions? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The contract is renewed. Thank you. Item number 19, the chair will consider a motion to table this item pending proper placement on the agenda.
Move to table.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Item number 20, status change for the Palmdale Aerospace Academy employee, Dr. Jocelyn Fitzgerald. This is the same as it was last time. This is her placement as interim principal at our elementary school. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Welcome, Dr. Fitzgerald. Would you like to stand up?
Thank you. I serve as the elementary principal, acting elementary principal for the elementary school. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're very happy to have you. Board of Director reports. Do any of my directors have a report?
I would just like the minutes to reflect again the leadership that the president has shown in the last 2 months. It's been a very difficult time, but through her leadership, we're stepping forward. We're going forward. We're just what we are, looking out into space, into the areas that this school was to be about technology, engineering, and those things. And her leadership has been something that has taken us through a very difficult time.
I second that.
Thank you, fellow board members. I appreciate that. I truly do.
I
Oh, you made my eye twitch.
I just want to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to the faculty and staff of this school. I know that this has been tremendously challenging for every person in this building, going through some changes and transitions. And from my experience as a board member, and I think most importantly to me as a parent, I believe that the students are receiving an uninterrupted educational experience right now. They are continuing to be challenged with rigor. They are being encouraged to be creative and to continue to explore and create in the environments that our teachers and our classified staff are working so hard to create for them. And I just cannot thank those of you who are here this evening enough. Along with your colleagues, you are working miracles every day on an average day. You know, when everything is going well, I know that that is taking place. So given the circumstance and what I know must be happening with each individual who is coming into this campus every day and continuing to give absolutely their all, I cannot thank you enough or express my gratitude deeply enough for the work that is taking place on this campus, and that that feeling and that culture and the climate that you guys work so hard to provide continues to prevail, and that the kids are happy. You know, I see dismissal and I see them coming out and they look just the same, and they are enjoying their experiences and they are being enriched in the ways that are possible. So, and I know that that doesn't take place without every person coming and continuing to give it your all every day. So thank you guys so much, and I wish everyone a well-earned and very restful and restorative holiday break.
And the board would second that, the entire rest of the board. We are so very proud of all of you. So very proud of you. Any other?
So I attended the first Tech Challenge robotics meet that was held here on Saturday, and I wanted to express my gratitude to all of the staff who were here on a weekend, supporting both our own local teams and the teams who came here from other parts of the Antelope Valley, and also to express that I'm just so impressed with the students here. You know, they come early to help set up, they stay late to help break other things down. They're working on their own robots and doing their own technology development, and yet they're still helping the other local teams around here to succeed. So I just like to see that from everyone here in the TPAA community.
Means a lot. It does.
I would like to say that my son goes to the elementary school side, and we attended the first holiday party. I say Christmas party. It's just a thing, but we attended the first one, and I gotta say that my son, walking into the campus, knew everybody from the security guard to the front desk person to every teacher that he introduced me to, even though it wasn't his teacher. So I like the feeling of security that I got, knowing that my son can pretty much go to anybody because everybody seems to know him. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but pretty much he knows everybody, and he's can approach anybody and talk to anybody. And that's one of the things that he came back, because he would tell me all the time, Mom, I really like my new school. I really like my new school. And I'm like, good. And I asked him why. Well, if you don't know my son, he's a chatterbox. And he goes, everybody talks to me and everybody takes, he just loves it. So I really do appreciate the fact that the teachers, as well as the staff, not just teachers, are taking the time to talk to these little kids, because it makes a difference. He's only in 3rd grade, but he totally digs coming and being able to talk to him. Surprised that I know people on campus, but mom's not supposed to know people on campus. So, but I really do appreciate the efforts being put forth by the teachers and staff alike to make my son feel comfortable. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. Mrs. Jaggy, did you have a report for us tonight? But before you do, I wanted to say thank you very much for the Friday letter. I very much appreciate that. Thank you.
I don't think I can add much to the good things that have been said. I accepted the invitation to come here because my mind was such that there were good people here doing good things for kids. And I have always thought that when I was around, when it was being thought about and talked about, long before it became what it is today. And I know the blood, sweat, and tears of many people over a jillion meetings, over 1 million hours, have gone into making the good things that we heard all these people speak about here tonight. So my thought was, sure, I'd like to be a part of that. So to be around good people who are doing good things for kids is a pleasure. And that's where I am, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I'll second.